Welcome to our channel. Join us as we turn this 1972 13-foot boler into this. But first, a quick disclaimer. This is not meant to be a tutorial of any kind. We did these projects to the best of our ability. Some of these methods may not be the best way to do these things, and we're well aware of that. And after living nomadically in this boler for over 2 years, there's definitely some things we would have done differently. In 2015, we bought the boler off an ad on Craigslist for $1,500. And when we dragged it out of that farmer's field, we weren't even sure if it would make the journey home. After the boler was safely unhooked and parked, it was time to do a full inspection of the outside. I know what you're thinking. Did you not do one before you bought it? We did, but let's face it, for $1,500, this was a dream come true. We finally had a boler. Then we did a thorough inspection of the inside, for those who were brave enough to enter, that was at least. The day we purchased the boler, and for a short while after that, Tara wouldn't even step foot inside of it. Can't really blame her. It was pretty scary looking. We were unsure if it was mold, or if something had burned in there real badly at one point. Our very first priority was getting the water that was trapped inside the boler door out. It's my understanding that if water gets trapped inside the boler door, over the course of the winter it can freeze and expand, thus warping your boler door further. And there was a lot of water in this door. It never seemed to end. There was even water coming out of the window trim. Right from the start, it was clear that this boler had been neglected. We knew we had our work cut out for us. And like many other projects, there's always some surprises hidden waiting for you. With the boler finally emptied out and the walls cleaned, we were ready for the next phase. The roof vent needed to be replaced completely, so we decided to install a fantastic fan. In order to do this, we needed a larger hole in the roof, and due to the thin shell of the boler, in order to have the fan flush inside, we fiberglassed a raised box on the outside to lift up the fan and support it. We figured it was pretty safe to assume that nothing had been done to the frame since 1972, so we removed the boler shell from the frame and gave it a real good inspection. In between the bent tongue and everything else that we found, we were happy a new frame was going to be made for the boler. We didn't have to inspect the subfloor much to know that it all had to go. Just a word of caution for the next few photos. I am in no way encouraging people to flip their bolers over on their sides with no structural support. This was by far the most nerve-wracking part of the whole entire process for me. We did what we could with what we had, but trust me, there are way better ways to do this. The subfloor was fiberglassed in just in time for the new frame's completion. We popped the boler back onto the frame, and then we installed the subfloor for the center part of the boler, which we lovingly refer to as the dance floor. The interior walls of the boler are lined with something called end-slit, also referred to as elephant skin. I have heard that this product was originally designed by NASA and is almost impossible to get now. So we did everything we could to try and save our wall linings. Where it was falling away from the walls, we re-glued it back. All of the cracks and crevices we re-caulked. And of course, lots of primer and some fresh paint. It truly is amazing what a fresh coat of paint can do. We wanted to make sure that all the cabinets fit back into the boler before we placed the floor in. A good friend of ours kindly offered to come over that day and help us lay the flooring. Before the cabinets could go back in, everything needed to be rewired. We also installed a breakaway system for the trailer for extra safety. After the setback of an ankle injury, I decided to outsource the rest of the sanding and the exterior paint job. With the color scheme all picked out, the boler was ready to be dropped off. With the shiny new paint job, new windows installed, and door installed, the boler was finally ready to come home again. The old tires and rims were disposed of, and brand new tires and rims were added onto the boler. The next thing we needed to figure out was where to put the propane and the batteries. In the end, we decided to have a custom-made box built for the tongue. Later on in the process, we learned that locking propane tanks in a box on the tongue is not permitted, largely due to the risk of first responders if they needed to respond to an incident. So this became the permanent home for our batteries. And soon after, propane was added. And then some finishing touches, like closet storage and wallpaper, as well as choosing the perfect backsplash for the boler. And of course, we can't forget about the Shady Boy awning, which I frequently call the Batwing. When we first bought the boler and began to restore it, it was meant to only extend our camping season, to allow us to start camping earlier in a Canadian spring and later into the fall and winter season. And a lot of our renovations was done with that in mind. After the majority of the renovations were complete, we had 2 good camping seasons with the boler. But in the summer of 2020, that all changed. We put everything we had in storage and left the apartment we were renting and began living in the boler full-time, nomadically. Since we began living in the boler full-time, we have explored 2 Canadian provinces and 21 American states. As of recently, we have begun to start to create YouTube videos to share our experiences and adventures with others. And as you can imagine, living full-time in such a small space, there's always upgrades and modifications and repairs to be done. We plan on sharing those with you as well. Had our intentions been to live in the boler full-time when we began these renovations, we would have done things differently. But hey, that's all part of the journey, isn't it? I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to follow along with us on our journeys, please hit the subscribe button and the notifications icon so you don't miss a video. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.